Psyche was the youngest of 3 daughters born to a king and queen, and she was renowned for her extraordinary beauty. In fact, she was so stunning that people started skipping their daily worship of Aphrodite to adore Psyche instead. You know how it goes. Even in modern times, we can't resist hyping up our own living deities. But here's the kicker. In this story, the haters aren't just trolls in the comments section. You're ticking off an actual goddess. Enraged, Aphrodite decided it was time for some divine retribution. She called upon her son Eros, the god of love, to help her exact revenge. Now, I imagine at that moment, Aphrodite probably glanced over at her husband, Hephaestus. Yes, the guy who won the most unfortunate-looking god award in Olympus, and thought, if I had to settle for this, why should Psyche get off easy? So, she cooked up a plan. She instructed Eros to use one of his enchanted arrows to make Psyche fall head over heels for the most vile and despicable creature on earth. However, when Eros first laid eyes on Psyche, he was so dazzled by her beauty that he ended up pricking himself with his own arrow and fell head over heels in love with her. And this is the same guy who gets mad when Apollo teases his archery skills. But hey, thanks to that little oops moment, we've got one of the greatest love stories of all time. Anyway, Psyche's parents, freaked out by all this divine drama, decided to consult the Oracle of Delphi. And as you'd expect, the Oracle didn't exactly give them good news. She prophesied that Psyche was destined to marry a monstrous being so terrifying that even the gods themselves were scared of it. So, they were instructed to leave Psyche on a mountaintop where her terrifying husband would come to claim her. Talk about a bad blind date. As Psyche stood there trembling, probably questioning all her life choices, the west wind Zephyrus swooped in and gently carried her away to a magnificent palace. But of course, there was a catch. She was never to see her husband's face. Despite the mystery, Psyche's husband treated her with love and tenderness, and she fell deeply in love with him. But like all great stories, curiosity got the better of her, and she longed to know who her mystery man really was. So, one night, Psyche, driven by curiosity and fear, lit an oil lamp while her husband slept, only to reveal the stunningly handsome face of Eros himself. Surprise! But in her shock, Psyche accidentally let a drop of hot oil fall onto Eros's shoulder, waking him up. Betrayed and heartbroken, Eros fled the palace, leaving Psyche alone. Clearly, that oil wasn't the only thing burning that night. Determined to win back her husband's love, Psyche sought out Aphrodite and begged for help. Aphrodite agreed on the condition that Psyche complete a series of near-impossible tasks. First up, Aphrodite ordered Psyche to sort a massive pile of mixed seeds and grains by nightfall. Overwhelmed, Psyche was saved by a colony of ants who took pity on her and sorted the seeds for her. Next, Aphrodite demanded that Psyche collect wool from dangerous, golden-fleeced rams. On the advice of a river god, Psyche waited until the rams were resting and then gathered the wool that had snagged on nearby bushes. After that, Aphrodite tasked her with retrieving water from a deadly, inaccessible waterfall fed by the river Styx. An eagle, sent by Zeus, swooped in and filled the flask for her. Finally, Aphrodite ordered Psyche to descend into the underworld and retrieve a box containing a fragment of Persephone's beauty. Psyche was warned not to open it, but of course, curiosity got the better of her. I mean, who could resist taking a little bit of beauty for themselves? Especially when you nearly dethroned the goddess of beauty. But instead of a beauty boost, the box contained a deadly sleep that overtook her. Eros, still deeply in love with Psyche, couldn't bear to see her suffer. He flew to her side, wiped the sleep from her eyes, and put it back in the box. Then he carried Psyche to Olympus and pleaded with Zeus to make her immortal so they could be together forever. Zeus agreed, and Psyche was given ambrosia, the food of the gods, making her immortal. Seeing that her son's love was real, and now that Psyche was a goddess, Aphrodite finally accepted the union. Psyche and Eros were reunited, and the gods celebrated their marriage.